All right, guys. So let's go over some highlights from this debate because I was live tweeting the
Go ahead.
the
You
debate.
round them off, girl.
Okay, so let's start with when Donald Trump said that Joe was responsible for the death of, I think he said millions of people via his foreign policy, and he was attacking Joe Biden from the left. That was when he was mentioning Joe Biden's record with Obama and their foreign policy, and versus Donald Trump's record with the COVID-related deaths. So, what did you think about that?
We said we have to watch out. If foreign policy comes into play, Donald Trump can attack him from the left. And he knows what he's doing. He sticks to his message. Donald Trump has that overtone message of, hey, I'm trying to end wars, but I have the best military that says, we rebuilt your broken military, and yet I want to end the wars that you started.
Mm-hmm.
So he sticks to his game. He put all those numbers on, and he also talked about the VA down the road, too, as well. I don't mean to skip ahead.
No, you're good.
But that was part of it. He said, you broke the VA, I came in and I fixed it. And he talked about a score being 91% for some who knows what type of whatever. But yeah, I mean, we didn't see foreign policy on the list yet. It came up, and I thought that Donald Trump did what he was going to do when he had the opportunity. So
another thing Donald Trump did was he was talking about Bernie Sanders during the primary and how Joe Biden would have lost the primary. Particularly, he said, if Pocahontas would have left earlier, you wouldn't have won. Yeah. And that's something that's entirely true. This is why many progressives hate Elizabeth Warren, because Elizabeth Warren, as we called it on this show months before, she was there to stop Bernie Sanders from getting anything. Yeah. I mean, and that's what she did. If she had dropped out earlier and kind of bonded with Bernie Sanders and the whole, like a lot of his supporters wanted, everything would have been different. Bernie Sanders would have had a shot to beating Joe Biden more, but that didn't happen. And then we saw what happened after that. So Donald Trump attacking Joe Biden on his hypocrisy and on his it's weird. He attacks him. He says, Bernie and you are the same. You're the radical left. And then he's like, what? You stopped Bernie Sanders and, you did this just like Hillary Clinton did this. He's made numerous tweets about how many the Democratic Party screwed Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, well, he went after him. Oh, you lost the left there. Oh, you lost the left there. And even when he mentioned, I beat Bernie
he said
Sanders,
that.
He made him mention the thing that a lot of progressives are like, shut up, because we don't believe that you actually beat us. We don't believe it was legit. We know it wasn't legit in 2016. We have the ink from WikiLeaks. Thank you, Donald Trump, for not mentioning them. Jesus, Donald.
Nobody mentioned Julian Assange today. So
I'll wait until we get to that other part. But I mean, the three times he said, "Up, you lost the left. Up, you lost the left," and saying that stuff about Bernie Sanders, getting Joe Biden to repeat that shit again is just going to look bad for those people who are on the left that were thinking about voting for him.
And Joe Biden also had the opportunity to go after Trump's failures on COVID. He started strong, but then he offered zero solutions, no mention of the economy, no mentioning of jobs. In essence, this is the reason Americans are screwed, because while Donald Trump did a lot of mishaps regarding COVID and a lot of people died, etc., the Democratic Party and Joe Biden weren't helping in any way and weren't offering any solutions. So the people in the end lose anyway, no matter who believes in COVID and who doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, the first two questions, those were set up for Joe Biden to really, really get into Donald Trump. And unfortunately for Joe Biden, the Trump attacks, the little, you know what I'm saying? And I was wrong. I said he would stay in his lane, not go after him. He was coming out like a WWE wrestler, and he was going after Biden from the get-go, and he wouldn't let up. You know what I'm saying? He knows that the talking over the moderators are going to play well for him and his base and those other people who are undecided. No matter what, that makes Joe Biden look weak, makes Donald Trump look strong, that's going to play to his advantage, and Donald Trump knows that. That's why he acted like a jackass. But he did take his shots. And like I said, the first two questions, you're talking about SCOTUS. You're talking about the pandemic. This is a chance for Joe Biden to lay into Donald Trump. And like you said, it started pretty decent, but then it kind of fluttered away.
And another thing that Trump said on Joe Biden, which had me cracking up because it's true, he said nobody shows up to his rallies.
That's the part, the events.
and to me, it's like, yeah, nobody shows up to Joe's rallies. I mean, he has a hard time getting over 100 people. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has all this momentum and all these people, no matter how much you dislike him.
Outside.
People are excited about him.
Outside, exactly. My rallies are outside.
Well, throwing the whole COVID thing out there, like, oh, I wear mask, I have it right here. Like, he's just playing with these people. He's playing, and they're falling right for his traps. That's what it felt like.
So I thought he didn't land the blows he needed to land. He did keep it together pretty well. I thought I saw about maybe 3 or 4 stutters throughout the whole thing, so he really didn't completely fall on his face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're gonna let another debate go out. I don't know if they can. I don't know. That's me. Personally.
I thought that Trump made a point about the Democratic supermajority states being shut down. That is something nobody talks about on the left, like the small businesses that are hurting, the employers that are hurting. He made a point saying, they shouldn't be on lockdown. The truth is they shouldn't be still. California, because we live here, our state was a subject a lot, this debate, because we live in a supermajority state, yet we're suffering a lot economically, housing-wise. A lot of people are poor. Governor Newsom is doing shit. Mayor Garcetti is doing crap in LA itself. And we have, like, Dianne Feinstein and Harris as senators, and what's being done? Absolutely nothing. So Donald Trump has a point on that. They shouldn't be still in stage 1 unless they're giving economic help to all these people. But neither party has offered the help. Like, neither the Democrat or the Republican Party have actually managed to help people. That was
part of the whole mentality of this particular race, of this particular debate, was never to really talk about what you can do, because you really haven't done much. And Donald Trump said it throughout the whole thing. Why didn't you do it? You had 47 years to do it. 47 years. I did more in 147 months than you did in 147 years.
Right. 47 years. I mean, that's not a lie. I mean, Joe Biden hasn't had a wonderful record of helping people in general. And I think Trump actually did slay Biden when he named his creation of the 1994 crime bill, which he wrote and Clinton signed into law, which literally jailed more black and brown Americans than anything else. It literally turned the 13th Amendment into the prison system. It really cemented all of that was created under Nixon and before. And so how did, Biden couldn't respond to that?
No,
he didn't give a plan on what he would do regarding race.
Donald Trump was able to pin the super predator tag on Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. And Joe Biden just said, I didn't say that and stuff like that, but it still stuck because it was the same people from the same legislations with the same policies doing the same kind of things. So,
okay, so seem a little laggy on the.
No, it's right there.
Okay,
so it's coming back.
All right, so in my opinion, though, Trump loses every time he tries to paint Joe as a radical leftist. Specifically when Joe Biden always talks about law and order. Joe Biden always talks about not being for the protesting, not being part of the socialist Bernie left, and he talks about rioting and looting. So I think Donald Trump loses on that when he tries to paint Joe Biden as that guy. But I mean, he's playing to his base and all that, but it's completely false. It's so far from the truth because Joe Biden is a Republican in essence.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump also called Biden a far leftist. And
somebody said on our chat, I wish.
I know. Well, it's painful to see this because Biden then goes, no, I'm not. I'm law and order. And it just hurts the Democrats more because either you're on the side against police brutality and you're like saying, yo, we got to do something, or you're going to say, no, we're for law and order. And the Democrats are trying to dip their toe on both, and they end up losing because they're so indecisive about everything.
Yeah, but the thing about Biden is Biden can play this another way. If he doesn't have to play it like Donald Trump, and the way Nancy Pelosi attempts to do it, you can just say, listen, if you want to say you're not for violence, but that's fine. You still have to address the anger and say, we need reforms. If you don't want to say defund the police, say what needs to be said at least between the two. All right, listen, I don't want to defund the police, but I want to reform the police. Number one, I have a plan. I'm never going to let a police department investigate themselves. Number two, I am bringing back sensitivity training and whatnot. Number three, I'm going to make my screening process twice as long so that no racist cops get by. Number four, I'm going to train differently. We're going to be all about training. And then let's be honest, this is also a problem that we can't let our police officers deal with people with mental illness. So we're going to have another type of task force that's going to specifically deal with that person where there's a doctor police. She's going to be a police doctor, and she's going to be in charge of the police officer there that are there to protect them and the other people, but still maintain, the decency of the possible victim that will be,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? There's so many things you could do. You can come up with a plan, but they don't even put
Without
a plan
saying
on the
the
fucking
words,
table.
defunding the police. Yeah, you
I
absolutely.
mean, if you don't want to say
but they
defund
won't
the
do
police,
that, Pasta. They won't do that because they don't want to change the system, because the system of fascism encroaches both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. So the moment they go and offer solutions, it would hurt them.
But why don't they do what they did the other day? Just explain what defund the police means. If Joe Biden wants to play this angle, say, listen, I don't want to defund the police, but you have to understand what defund the police means. Defund the police means A, B, C, or D. Okay, it doesn't mean get rid of the police. That's a bunch of malarkey that I want to get rid of the police. You can play it a different way, but they can't even strategically play things right.
And Joe Biden reiterated, he said, I'm totally opposed to defunding the police. So all the people saying we need to vote for Joe Biden for our black brothers and sisters and all this, what are you voting for Joe Biden for? He literally told you, I'm not defunding the police. I'm not giving you health care for all. I'm not changing anything. It's just that Trump is worse on this, supposedly.
That's all his game was.
They have.
It was never what can I do, it's what he did wrong.
Right. Exactly. I thought the moderators were also a problem during this whole thing because they skew the narratives too, like the painting of the protests violent, the way they were asking those questions, instead of focusing on the fact that most are nonviolent and understanding why they're happening. Again, I didn't see enough of a call for solutions. Like, what are your solutions, Mr. President? What are your solutions, Vice President Joe Biden? Give us like a set solutions, just like Pasta drew, to what does defunding the police mean? Give us some solutions. No, they didn't do any of that. The American people, once again, end up losing. This is why so many people aren't watching this shit. And the only people that are watching this is to watch us mock it and go over it, because they don't even want to hear what these people are saying, because what they're saying is such shit.
It's very simple, too, as well. You know what I'm saying? You can say, listen, I condone violence for the protesters. That, once again, though, this is not a monolith. And if you want to call balls and strikes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, there's been some violence out there. There's been some fires, but it's not a drop in the bucket to what our police officers are doing to these protesters. When one person in a protest makes a mistake, the police have no right to light everybody up like a Christmas tree. Let's call balls and strikes here, ladies and gentlemen. The way he says, oh, there was people on both sides. Well, I wish somebody would say that too as well. And I can tell you, the police brutality far exceeds the protesters that cause problems. And once again, it's not a monolith. There are people who join these groups. The organizers don't push people to do shit like this. In fact, what we've seen in LA, they've stopped it, fam, right? We've been there. You know what I'm saying?
And I just want to go off of that. Donald Trump had the opportunity to denounce white supremacists, and he didn't. Instead, he, in fact, gave him the approval to go after the radical leftists like Antifa, saying things like, somebody needs to go after them. That is incentivizing these people to go after them, which is going to incentivize the other people to counterattack. Now, that's dangerous. And Donald Trump could have been smart and said, yeah, I denounce white supremacy, but I think we should have law and order, blah, blah, blah. But him saying, not really denouncing it at all, and not giving a specific reason, separating between the violence and the nonviolence, really, yes, plays up to his base, but it also plays up to the fact that what a lot of people are saying, that Donald Trump is a white supremacist, that he does want to really see the left and Antifa dead. Like, this is just playing more into that game.
He told the Proud Boys to step back. Hey, Proud Boys, step back.
Biden also said that Trump is Putin's puppet, and this is so far from the truth, because Trump has been really hard on Russia, actually far harder than a lot of other presidents, and Biden has charisma, and that sort of people started talking about that.
He went for the Moscow thing.
He went for the Moscow thing, yeah.
Wow, I mean, see, that's a personal, I think, because he did mention charisma, he did mention the money, but he mentioned the Moscow thing, because I think there's like a little personal vendetta for Donald Trump to really go after the Democrats for Russia or anything Russia related, because they did it to him. So that he kept on mentioning that and and Biden with the same excuse. It's been debunked. By who? By CNN? By MSNBC?
Right.
I'm sorry, pal. You made your bed, sleep in it. We know what happened. Even Donald Trump said there's a tape. Like, there's a tape for you in Burisma going, you can't hide from this thing. That's why, I mean, to me, it just makes me think that the Democrats, what the hell are you doing?
I don't think
once
they
again, you put up the worst possible candidate you could have put up. I mean, I was trying to imagine other people in this debate, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was trying to imagine Amy Klobuchar. I was trying to imagine Tulsi Gabbard. I was trying to imagine Bernie Sanders, you know what I'm saying? I think Donald Trump would have probably gone after Bernie just as hard as he went after Biden. But how would it have been with like a Tulsi or an Amy or somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I think he would have gone after Kamala Harris just as hard as he goes after Biden. But I mean, man, it's sad. We're sitting here in 2020. We went through what happened in 2016. You know, I mean, people who went to the convention, everything there. It's like we're living a nightmare over and over and over again.
That's what it is. And climate change, that was the opportunity for Joe Biden to really show his strength against Donald Trump. And instead of opposing him on climate change, he was sort of competing for the moderate look. Competing, well, fine. Like, I'm not banning fracking. No, the Green New Deal is not part of my plan. He once again, just like with the police brutality, he doubled down on the Green New Deal is not part of my plan, making sure everybody understands he is for fracking. He's still going to take that oil money.
Oh, you
he's
lost
really
the radical left there.
He's really, exactly.
You lost it.
So who is your target audience? Everybody has to have a target audience. If you're presenting something and if you want people to buy into a brand or buy into what you're saying, you have to have a target audience. Who the hell is Joe Biden's target audience? If he's dismissing people on the left, he's not going to get the far right. So he's going for like the tiny contingent of people that might vote for him. This is a disaster.
He didn't get. Listen, if Joe Biden had some people watching the MCSC network, Rob dropped a article about Donald Trump getting like $100 million, right, from fracking money, whatnot. You got to go down the list of this thing, not just the Paris Accord agreement that you keep on echoing and echoing. You should have went, you got this here. Donald Trump took this money from this frack company. He's invested with this. Or, you got to go down the list. Bing, bang, boom. He just named the same thing, the Paris Accord again. That's it. This guy's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like he was just not prepared. And even if he was prepared, maybe he just forgot his lines. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, but did he do as bad as you thought he would, though?
He held himself
held
together, I guess.
Yeah.
He didn't lose his cool so much, but same old bullshit rhetoric. I mean, he wasn't, I don't even know if you could prepare this guy for this debate. Like, Donald Trump was taking out just knives and throwing them.
Yeah.
He was going boom, boom, boom. For every topic, he was bam. He was throwing stuff out. He had everything going. Like you said, the 94 crime bill he got up to, he called them super predators. Then it come to the war stuff. It came to his son, took money from China, took money from Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? He still told his bullshit stories. And Donald Trump and Joe Biden couldn't stop him. Donald Trump, I got a billion tree plan. I mean, you're making Donald Trump look like he's got a green thumb over here, Joe. You got to get him. Like, come on. Donald Trump looked good on freaking the environment tonight. Donald Trump.
Yeah, this is
the worst candidate.
Disaster.
The worst candidate. I am convinced 100% that the Democrats want to lose.
Me too.
They do not want to win. They want to lose. They know this economy is going to crash eventually anyways. Once these people get thrown out of their houses. They don't want it on their hands.
Yep. Yeah, they don't want to win.
They just want to. They want to come close.
It would be so easy to win against Donald Trump. Like, you have to mention a Green New Deal, actual talking about economic and jobs related to that, not just how much you're gonna not the climate part, but also how we're gonna get new jobs into that sector, which are so many jobs that you could have available. You could get all the young people to go out and vote for you when you talk about reforming the police, even as something as not even using the words defund the police. You could get the young people to come out and vote for you for healthcare, student loan forgiveness, all these little things that you could talk about. You could work it into it. You could explain it however way you want it to make it more acceptable to the older generations and whatever, more economically concerned, or how are we going to pay for it? But no, instead they're denouncing any connection with Bernie Sanders and his movement, who has spent more time campaigning for Joe Biden than Joe Biden himself.
I beat the socialist.
So what the fuck is going on? Like, this is just a shit show. To me, they just don't want to win. I 100% agree with you. They do not want to win. They have zero interest in winning, and that's where they're going.
You'd have to really pull a rabbit out of your hat to really do well in these particular debates to make any change for Joe Biden, because he simply doesn't have the policy positions for him to grab somebody other than Trump. He's trying to out-Trump Trump, and you're not going to out-Trump Trump. Out-Trumping Trump is a Trump thing to do. It's Trump-normous. It's how many he only repeated himself twice. Top people and a beautiful, beautiful plan. I'm going to put up 1 billion trees.
Like water.
He makes it this thing. I was like, what the hell? I had the question, like, Johnny, is there forest cleaners out there? Is there guys in other countries cleaning the forest? Like, he put the fires, he took it out of global climate change and put it in the hands of the Democrats controlling California. They're not keeping their forest floors clean enough, fam. And it's like a match. You drop a cigarette, it goes up.
And it's
and
so
Brian,
easy.
let him do it.
It's so easy to counteract that with being like, yeah, but that we have scientists and increasing temperatures and increasing catastrophes and all this stuff. Joe Biden can't even say any of that because he's still taking that money. He knows the same thing. He knows what everybody knows, but he's choosing not to do anything about it, which makes him look like a hypocrite. And people would rather have the asshole that's evil, but that tells you he's evil, than the hypocrite who pretends to be your friend but is lying behind his back. So I think that's why Donald Trump, if you had to choose someone, even though I don't think it's a win-lose situation, I think we lose. The American people are losing. Who do you think did better?
The American people lost today, too, as well. Especially little Joe's little theatrics towards the end, too, were really, really funny. Yeah. Don't say anything about my son. Which son? Bo? I don't know Bo. I know Hunter. I know he got thrown out of the Navy. I know he took up billions of dollars. I know he did not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he just used every single opportunity, Donald Trump. He's got WWE training. There's nothing the Biden camp can do. I am going to predict right now that there will not be another debate. They will find a way to weasel out of it. There's no need for them to go into this. It's only going to make Joe look bad. It's only going to make Joe look worse. There's nothing to get. I mean, like I said, I'm a little surprised. He held it through the whole way, but he did nothing really to change the Trump momentum. You know what I mean? Even the part where the moderator's telling him, Trump has thousands of people outside, and you've had like little small ones, and he's going, because nobody wants to go to your protest. I mean, these are the things that are going to be remembered by the majority of the people who are voting in this primary, and not this primary, in this general election. I wish we could go back to the primary and change it. But what about let's talk about one of my parts that I was waiting to get to, and I just knew, once again, the Democrats have picked a side. They're going to stick by their bullshit. Remember, this is a party. The
election integrity.
And the federal courts that said they had every right to go into the back room filled with cigar smokes and pick whoever they want. Well, they double down on the fact that they're saying there's nothing wrong with mail-in ballots. Nothing can go wrong, fam.
So here's the thing with the election integrity issue. It is a difficult issue for people to navigate through because there's a lot of nuance to it. The fact is that the Democratic Party has rigged elections for years, especially primary elections. During the Bernie Sanders 2016, there was not just election fraud and voter suppression, but specifically regarding the machines, regarding some ballots that were never counted. And we saw that also play out in 2018 and in the recent congressional races too, where in Wisconsin there was tubs of ballots found, mainly progressive ballots that weren't counted in the primaries, right? And so we go to Donald Trump now, where he's talking about election integrity. The only reason he cares is because he can use this as a political narrative to manipulate for his base and votes for him, sure. But that doesn't make the issue of third-party voting or of the mail-in voting and the missing the votes that weren't counted, and of course the main issue he's been talking about, which is the what?
He's coming on.
Oh, okay. Which is the voting.
We're going to go on a quick 1 minute break, 2 minute break, Johnny. 2 minute break,
2 minute
and
break.
We'll be right back with a special guest to talk about election integrity and the debates and everything that's going on. We'll be right back. We have a special guest, Jimmy James Dean Dore. He's with us.
Joe. Pasta's being Joe Biden right now.
First, ask Jimmy a question. I mean, my first question is: did you make it through 15 minutes of the debate
without drinking?
I don't know if you know what these are. But do you see how many of them I've eaten?
Oh, wow.
Oh, are you supposed to eat that?
Here goes another one.
You'd probably still do better than Joe Biden in this debate. So what?
Well, I like that. You can say what you want. Sure, they were yelling, but look at all the great policy ideas that were put forward.
I know. Cutting edge.
If that doesn't inspire the 100 million people who don't vote to vote, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Joe Biden calling him a clown and having absolutely not one policy that's going to make anyone's life better. Not one. Except for sure he's not for the Green New Deal. We know that. That's clear.
We know he's not for defunding the police. We know that for sure.
We know that for sure. And he's for law and order.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it was, it was actually a little entertaining because Trump is such a maniac, and that he wouldn't let Joe Biden talk. I was
Yeah.
It was like he was debating the interrupting cow.
Yeah.
And but I've heard people already saying, "Oh, Mike Wallace didn't know what to do with Trump." But what the fuck do you do with a guy who doesn't stop talking? What is he supposed to do? Go slap him? What is he supposed to fucking do? There's nothing to do. That's how Trump fucking debates. And unless they give Chris Wallace the power of the microphone, Trump's going to be able to talk for as long as he wants. Did you think Chris Wallace is going to find a piece of logic that goes into Trump's brain and go, "Oh, that's a good point. I will stop talking"? Yeah. That's not going to happen. Yeah. He's going to talk whenever he fucking feels like it. And he was trying to rattle Joe Biden, and Joe Biden did look like he was. He was not in. He looked on defense the whole night, and when he kept looking down, and especially when he talked about, he goes, "My son served in Iraq. You should be," like he doesn't feel bad about that. Like, my son had to go to that stupid fucking war because of assholes like me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Donald Trump said that Joe Biden was responsible for the deaths of millions of people regarding his foreign policy. So now he's attacking Joe Biden from the left, which to me was it's like, hello, we told you this was going to happen. We told you that Donald Trump was going to go there and attack Joe Biden from the left if you had somebody like Joe Biden there. And he brought up the 1994 crime bill, which I thought that was regarding calling them super predators. I mean, to me, that was like the knife in there that really did it for Joe Biden, who's supposed to be the Democratic president that isn't the white supremacist.
And the fact that Joe Biden can't distance himself from the 94 crime bill. Right. That if he would have said, "Hey, we've been through that, pal. I've said what I would have done differently. That was 25 years ago. Why don't you talk about the last 8 years?" He can't say that because the last 8 years sucked too. They just had 8 years. What did they do for criminal justice reform? Fucking nothing. They wouldn't even do anything with marijuana. Yeah, they're they are the ones who militarized the police. That's the thing that Trump couldn't say.
Yep.
He couldn't say they militarized the police because he wants to militarize them even more because that's what. So what I read, that's what I realized. We got two right wingers. Yep. Nobody's going to fucking attack Joe Biden for his right wingerness. He's not going to go, "Oh, you militarized the police." So it's just it's an unbelievable shit show. And the fact that people think, I don't know if you heard that podcast Nancy Pelosi just did with that woman Kara something, and Kara Swisher, and she was asking Nancy Pelosi, "What are you going to do specifically to help fight against Trump?" And she basically kept saying nothing. We're not doing anything. And then she got Nancy Pelosi to admit that we don't have to worry about abortion because the Republicans have had control of government and they've never tried to repeal abortion. So that's not an issue. And I go, "Oh, she just fucked up. She just made a gaffe."
She told the truth.
Told the truth.
Yeah, she told the truth.
Yeah. How are you going to fundraise now off abortion, fuckface?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's getting a little off the subject, but my whole point is this is just wrestling. They both work for the same guys. Joe Biden wants to increase the military. Trump wants to increase the military. Joe Biden wants to increase the police. Fucking Trump wants to increase the police. Joe Biden wants to deregulate Wall Street. Trump wants to deregulate Wall. If they're the same, nope, they don't. Trump doesn't want to give you health care. Biden doesn't want to give you health care. They both want to keep fracking going. But they both are against the Green New Deal. What the fuck?
It's crazy that Donald Trump look better on the environment than Joe Biden. He actually created something up. It's like, "Oh, the Democratic governor, they're not taking care of their forest. They don't have enough forest sweepers there keeping the floor clean, and that's why we got fires over there. We're going to put up 1 billion trees." But that's the Democratic game. They can't talk about anything positive they can do. It's just Trump against no policy. Right. Trump is bad. Trump is bad. Trump is bad. It's WWE wrestling, but Donald Trump's the better WWE wrestler. That 47-year comment, Joe, you had 47 years. Why haven't you done anything in 47 years? That is going to stick so much. Forget about it.
Nobody goes to your rallies.
That was hilarious because that's true. Nobody does go to his rallies, just like Hillary Clinton.
Same thing. Yeah,
exactly.
And even when Bernie would go out and stump for Hillary after he lost to her or whatever, gave up to her, no one would come and see Bernie. No. Which just goes to prove, like, people try to say, "Oh, you guys are in a cult of Bernie." No, we made Bernie.
Right.
He said the shit that we wanted.
Yep.
And as soon as he stopped saying the shit that we wanted, we fucking let him have it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, Jimmy, a little bit, because a lot of us, I'm sure you have been vilified yet again with the same tactics used in 2016 with Jill Stein. You know, we saw what Bill Maher said about the rape baby and naming it Jill Stein. How are you dealing with these people this time around? Because I don't know about you, but they're using the same exact vote shaming bullshit tactics and have absolutely zero indication as to how they think this is going to get anybody to vote for them.
Well, it's not. That I deal with it the same way I dealt with it last time. Your voter outreach is really shitty. You guys should try a different tactic. It's not working. And then the other thing I say, if Jill Stein and people like me had as much power as you claim we did, you'd be a lot nicer to us and you'd be trying to win us over. But you don't. You just need a scapegoat because you guys are cowards and you can't take responsibility for being so shitty you lost to a game show host. So, I mean, if somebody wants to give me that power of me being the kingmaker, then don't you think they would be nice to me? That's not how you treat kingmakers. You try to court them. So that just, it's transparent bullshit scapegoating, and they can say that if they want, but it's amazing the cowardice. I mean, I have no idea how this country got this far. I mean, I thought that we got past McCarthyism. Now people do it like fucking nothing.
It's nothing. Like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. Oh, he did it tonight. He called him Putin's whatever he said about Putin.
Yeah.
It's like they just do it right. It's like, didn't we already go through? We had movies about this. We had books written. We all agreed this was bad. And now you just do it whenever you guys, it's just the fact. And everyone accepts it. They like doing it. They do it to soldiers like Tulsi Gabbard. It's fucking, we're a country of adult children of alcoholics.
Yep.
And we're a bully nation. People say Trump is a bully. We are a bully as a nation. Look what we did around the world with Barack Obama, 2 wars to 7. What did we do in Libya? Isn't that bullying? Yeah. What did we dropped 26,000 bombs on Syria? Isn't that bullying? What the fuck do you call that? What are we doing in Venezuela? What did we do in fucking Bolivia for lithium? We're nothing but bully fucking. We're a giant bully, and the other half of the country is a bunch of adult children of alcoholics. They don't get mad at the bully. They get mad at the guy who points out that there's something fucked up. That means people like you and people like me and people like Jill Stein.
Yeah.
And Julian Assange. We could even talk about Julian Assange, how the guy's not even American and we're trying to extradite him via a kangaroo trial, even though the defense is so good and the prosecution is so bad at their jobs. It doesn't matter. They have the judge in their hands and they're going to extradite him. And what does that mean for people like you and I, or and us and like all the journalists out there? None of these mainstream media and even some of the progressive media have been talking about Julian Assange. It was definitely not mentioned at all during this debate. I was definitely not surprised by that. But that goes to show you that the people telling the truth are going to be the ones punished. And nobody is talking about that. They're not dealing with that reality. We're not entering into fascism. We're living in it right now. And what we're seeing happening in this country, in the streets, with the police and the police state is part of what's happening to Julian Assange. And nobody's making those connections.
So the guy who's supposed to be the antidote to a right-wing fascist authoritarian is a right-wing fascist authoritarian. The guy who wrote the crime bill, the guy who did the Iraq war, the guy who did Libya, the guy who was part of the administration that repealed habeas motherfucking corpus. And this is the guy who's supposed to bring us back liberty and democracy and freedom. And that you're trading one right-wing fascist for another. That's not hyperbole.
No.
Yeah. You know what was really good tonight, though, Jimmy? I got to admit, and I'm not sitting here rooting for Donald Trump, but the way he used the Moscow governor sending his son money, it was like a personal thing. You want to Russiagate against me for a couple years, you son of a bitch? Well, your son took money from this Moscow governor or this Moscow mayor or whatever he was talking about, the millions of dollars. Don't you think that played a little bit from what Trump's been through for the last couple of years with Russiagate, that played into the attacks tonight with Burisma and this situation into Hunter Biden?
I think that Trump would have did it regardless, but I'm sure he relished it more because of the fact, that he's been Russiagated. And isn't it amazing? That's the part of the story the New York Times didn't print, that Hunter Biden received a $3.2 million wire transfer from the richest female billionaire in Russia. Isn't that something? And they left that out of the story. That's weird. So I was going to cover that today. I didn't have time. I'm actually going to cover that tomorrow. And it was smart of Trump to bring that up. I don't think Joe Biden got one goddamn vote tonight. I can't see if he's trying to get how do you get some of the 100 million people who don't vote to vote? And he doesn't give a fuck about them. He's trying to get some Republicans to vote for him, just like Hillary Clinton was. He's not trying to get the socialists to vote. He's not trying to get the environmentalists to vote. He's not trying to get the progressives to vote or the disaffected working class. He's trying to get rich, white, suburbans, Republicans to vote for him. And that's why we're in the position we're in. And that's why all they have is voter bullying.
That's it. Do you think that he can win at all? Do you think Joe Biden has a chance to beat Donald Trump?
Even Hillary Clinton got more votes than he did.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that it's neck and neck, the fact that we all think that he could lose to Donald Trump after 4 years of Donald Trump, the Democrats are at risk of losing to him again. That's how fucking bad the Democrats are. They're actually and you know what I say about that anyway? You know, all these blue check Hollywood types who claim they're not political. And then but they're going to say something now because of Donald Trump, because they're such good fucking people. No, you've been political when you don't say something about the horrible shit Barack Obama was doing for 8 years. That's political.
Yeah. You got a question, Chris?
Well, so what do you think is going to happen with Kamala Harris and Pence? Because the thought of having a top cop and a theocrat debating just seems to be a losing debate anyway.
I mean, it could not get more absurd, and yet it's like still. I hate to harp on it. I just can't get over all the friends I've made in show business in the last 20 years and how they're just they've lost. I don't want to insult them because I just don't know what to do to wake them up to the fact that they're this idea that Nancy Pelosi and her billionaire Wall Street friends oppose Donald Trump.
Right.
And her military industrial complex friend, the people who it's just a joke. And the fact that they really think voting for Biden will make things better.
I know.
But what voting for Biden does is just create another problem.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what's going to happen day one if Donald Trump wins again? I mean, in 2016, we didn't know what was going to happen. I think a lot of people bought into let's go into the Democratic Party and change it from the inside. No offense, not going to work. But this time,
how is it that I knew that, Craig? How is it that I fucking knew that wasn't going to work? How the fuck is it?
Because Bernie said it could work.
I just ate a whole bag of weed. How is it that I know that?
Well, what happens this time, Jimmy? What happens this time if Donald Trump wins again? I mean, isn't it walking time for the Democrats? I'm waiting to Dem exit just for that day so there can be 1 million of us leave the Democratic Party. I mean, what do you think is going to happen if Donald Trump wins again to the Democratic Party?
I would have. I'm bad at this kind of predictions, but I would have thought that losing to him the first time would have made them crumble. I would have thought that it would have given rise to a third party for sure, but that's where Bernie Sanders came in to make sure that didn't happen. I wish that wasn't true, but that's exactly what happened. And I lost you.
We're good.
We're here.
We're good.
Okay.
Joe, and well, just off of that, Joe Biden is literally throwing it back in Bernie's face by saying, "I'm not the socialist. I beat the socialists. I'm not doing the Green New Deal."
He wants to piss everybody on the left off, fam.
So who is his audience? Who is his target audience? Right? Who is his target audience?
Rich white Republican suburban dwellers who are Trump voters who don't like him anymore.
Yeah.
That's who he's going for. He's not going for. He's not going for me. He's not going for you. He's not going for the black people in Milwaukee who didn't vote for Hillary. He's not going for any of those people.
Yeah. It's
the same strategy as Hillary Clinton. And so he thinks, well, I just got to swing 7,000 or more votes in Michigan and Pennsylvania and I can fucking win. And so that they're just going because they're donor clad. Joe Biden, why would he be against Medicare for all? Like it's going to fucking cost him money? No, it's because his donor class. That's it. You are not allowed to do that. And if he wasn't that way, he wouldn't be. They would have never got Barack Obama to make everybody else drop out before fucking Super Tuesday.
Yeah. which seems really funny to me, being an election integrity activist, knowing that Joe Biden all of a sudden got all these early votes and these mail-in votes. It's like that wheel was already set in motion, it feels like, and that they were just completing the master plan, and then Barack Obama had to work the phones to get Buttigieg and Klobuchar to drop out. Are we going to see any movement from anybody up top or maybe the lower part of the Democratic Party, the squad? I don't know how you feel about them. I'm not too crazy about them taking the reins. But if the Democratic Party does make a change and it gets into the hands of the Ayanna Presleys, the Ilhan Omars, the AOCs, what are your thoughts there?
They all voted for the largest upward transfer of wealth in the history of humankind. If you think those people are your saviors or that they have integrity or courage, I've got fucking news for you. They are fucking narcissistic, megalomaniac, fucking politicians like everybody else.
Yeah.
And they are not going to save you. They all voted for it, including Bernie Sanders. It was the biggest betrayal of the American people in our history. And what is the point of voting for fucking progressives inside the Democratic Party if they won't stand up to Nancy Pelosi, which is just another face of Trump?
Exactly. There is no way to reform the Democratic Party. I mean, every single time we elect people to go in there, they capitulate to the establishment because that is the way the system is set up. People need to realize that they need to go outside the Democratic Party and not just rely on political elections every fucking 4 years to think that you're going to make a change. I mean, it's going to require going outside the electorate. What do you think? I know you spoke on the movement for People's Party convention, but also what do you think about a general strike movement, a mass people's movement? What is the way? Because we don't have any power in the electorate. People have already given it up by saying we have to vote for Joe, even if he doesn't give us Medicare for all, even if he doesn't defund the police or does nothing to us, we still have to vote for them anyway. So we're not going to get shit from the Democratic Party. So where is our power right now?
So I think it was proven that the power is actually in the quote unquote essential workers' hands. And if someone learns how to organize those, just grocery store workers, we could shut down the goddamn country. You have grocery store workers go. I mean, you saw what happened during COVID. You couldn't give, it's crazy what could happen, right? So I think that if there's, my prediction, and I hate to be a pessimist, but my prediction is that, if the Democrats lose to Trump, it will help a third party. How much, I don't know. If the Democrats beat Trump, it'll help a third party. How much, I don't know. That it's a shit show. So that's where the power lies. So what can we do? The power lies in forming an actual third party. And so no matter which way this election goes, I think people are going to wake up to it, because they are already.
Yeah.
And I think that it's in the hands of the workers. Chris Smalls, who was that fired Amazon worker, he's getting ready to fuck over Amazon and do a protest against them in a big way. And we're going to have him on our show to talk about it. And I think it's going to have to come from people like that. And I think you're going to, if they find a charismatic guy with Chris Small's heart, if we could take Chris Small's heart and put it in Barack Obama, then then we'd have something. But, I just think it's going to really come down to like when the teachers all get together and they decide to do something. So I think it's going to, it's like, what if the teachers went on strike and said, fuck you, we'd have to get Medicare for all. Because too many of our students are sick and don't have, whatever. It's it's going to take something like that. It's going to definitely come from the bottom up. It's definitely not coming from the top down. Exactly. And, so Rashid Tlaib, or was it Pramila Jayapal?
Pramila is Washington, Rashid is Michigan.
So which one was on the task force for healthcare? So Pramila. So Pramila Jayapal was on the task force for healthcare, and did you know that she never even during any of the meetings brought up Medicare for all as a solution to the problem?
Yeah, we heard about that. Yeah.
What is the point of going on that task force if you're not allowed to bring up the solution?
Why they weren't allowed?
Right? Because you're willing to be used by the fucking corporation. That's what that was. Well, no, Jimmy, she was serving the party. Well, why is the party serving the corporation? She's just one step removed. You're serving the party that's serving the corporation. You're serving Joe Biden specifically. That guy is the fucking corporation. And they did that willingly. And I'm supposed to feel bad that I don't want to fucking support the Democratic Party? Go fuck. They don't support me.
They haven't supported anybody for a really fucking long time.
All right, Jimmy, give us your last prediction on what the election is going to turn out to be, and
other than a shit show.
Other than, final predictions. And my last question is too: do you think they're going to let Biden debate again? I don't think Biden helped himself whatsoever. They've been toying with the fact that they're going to pull away from these debates, so I don't think they're going to let him debate again.
Greg, that's a great point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I bet they do pull him away from the debate. Or he didn't look strong. It's hard to look stronger than Trump, I guess. But he never been, even during the primary debate, it's like he clung to his weakness. He would always go, "I'm sorry, my time's up," and he'd always look down. And like it's like he knew the fix was eventually going to be in, and he just had to fucking get there. And he did. And it worked. It's amazing. And so, I mean, he's got no skills. What's he gonna? I mean, he did not have a policy that was gonna help people that could shut Trump up. That's what he needs to have. He's got to say, yeah, we're gonna save the planet with Green New Deal. It's gonna create all these jobs, and we're gonna give everybody health care doing it. What's your plan?
Yeah.
And he can't do that because he doesn't have a plan.
Do you see a civil war happening? Because a lot of people feel like there's going to be a civil war no matter who wins, whether it's Biden, that the right is going to be angry and take to the streets, or whether it's Trump, that the left is going to get angry and take to the streets.
I think the ultimate ruler of the king in America is the corporation and the Wall Street and the military-industrial complex, and I don't think the Civil War helps them.
Yep, it doesn't.
I don't think they'll allow them. I think they'll make the Democrats and Republicans come together. Even, I mean, publicly, they already have behind closed doors.
Right.
Nancy Pelosi passes his agenda, won't oppose his Supreme Court pick, won't, and isn't that hilarious? Anyway, but it's just, I was thinking about that. Merrick Garland, at no point, he nominated a fucking corporatist who was pro Citizens United. I mean, what the fuck? And somehow still, though, if you have an MSNBC contract, that's my fault.
Well, Jimmy, I think what the Democrats can do is just cancel the debates with Trump and have Biden debate with Bernie Sanders again. So, we can continue to lie and say, Joe is my friend. And then therefore, he wins they get him some momentum going into this thing. So it makes him look good.
Send Bernie instead of Biden for the next one. I don't know.
Bernie to replace Biden.
You remember when Biden said, Bernie, you got 12 super PACs, 9 super PACs. And remember Bernie had that zinger comeback. Joe, come on.
Seriously.
That was it. That was his big, he didn't fucking harp on that for the rest of the goddamn night. He didn't harp on how much fucking money you've taken, who you're bought by, why the fuck you did all that. That he didn't fucking critique the 8 years he spent in the goddamn White House, repealing habeas corpus, kicking, hey, guess what you did last time there was an economic downturn, Joe? You kicked 5.1 million families out of their fucking houses. That's your plan. How you gonna, what's your plan this time? Kick out 6 million, 7 million? What is your fucking plan? He didn't say anything.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that's just Bernie Sanders lacking the political will to really do. I mean, if it's anything, just show him a tape of tonight, go back in time and say, hey, watch, this was from the future of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. This is how you debate Joe Biden. Because like we said, he wouldn't shut up, but that's Joe Biden's job to shut him up, not the moderator. He's going to go in there. You got to be ready to go back and forth with him, and you can't depend on the moderator. And, it was a sad state of affairs today for anybody on the left if this is your choice.
Well, that's
Joe
not
Biden.
The left, but yeah. Anybody on the Democratic Republican side. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jimmy, so much for coming on.
We do appreciate it, Jimmy.
It's a pleasure. Your lighting is fantastic. You guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys
I like your shirt.
You look way younger.
Thank you. Johnny can make you look young. That's what he does. Johnny Sue on the ones and twos. Jimmy, say hi to Steph. Thank you so much.
We love Steph.
We'll catch up with you soon.
It was a pleasure. Bye, everybody.
Bye.